Rated R.
CBS Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
Oakland has won the toss and wants the football in this matchup against the Packers. Let's go down to Tracy.
Thanks, Jim. Both teams coming in with question marks regarding that wide receiver position, and you mentioned it, Davante Adams will once again watch from the sideline dealing with that turf toe injury, but they do get Geronimo Allison dealing with that concussion and chest injury, and Valdez-Scantling back as well with the ankle and the knee. But keep in mind, I think they also will use Jake Kumaro and Alan Lazard against these Raiders today. Speaking of the Raiders, they're dealing with wide receiver issues as well. Tyrell Williams out with that heel injury, plantar fasciitis. Their receivers out there a combined 43 career receptions, Jim.
Boy, that is hard to believe, but that's the number. That's it for those who are up for the Raiders. And here they go with Davis, the former Packer, getting hammered near the 16-yard line. Brought down by Burks, and out comes Derek Carr. He's played up here a couple of times at Lambeau Field in the preseason, but first regular season game, and there it is at 73%, highest in the NFL completion percentage.
Yeah, he's very efficient, Jim, and they're doing a great job of running the football and having efficient play, staying in the chains. I think Oakland is tough if they can get the lead early. That's why I think they took the ball here. If they get behind, I think they can struggle on the road, but we'll see right now on this drive.
Come out and give it to the rookie. Coming off a 100-yard gain. Look at him lower his head and then drive it out of bounds after a 9-yard gain. Amos was the first contact, but Jacobs blew right past him after contact.
Well, that's Carrier on the edge. I mean, they block so well on the edge. When I watched the Chicago tape 2 weeks ago in London, they set the edge so well on offense. You talk about it on defense, Trent Brown, Colton Miller last time. They don't have Brown today, Sharp's in, but I can tell you, if they can do that today on the edge against the Smith brothers, it's going to be a long day for Green Bay.
They do have Gabe Jackson at right guard up for the first time this year, and on 2nd and 1, that will be enough for the first. So you mentioned it, Tony. Trent Brown, that's a big miss. He's been such a strong part of this running game. The 6'8" right tackle out with a calf injury, and Sharp does move up as a starter, but the makings of a very good offensive line once they get everybody healthy.
Oh, they got 4 of the 5 back. They had the same thing in Chicago, and you know, no one I saw was controlling the line of scrimmage against Chicago, and Oakland came in and made it look easy. And I can tell you, when they get all 5 guys back, this is going to be a tough team to handle.
You saw Trent Brown watching from the sideline. New set of downs for the Raiders.
On right here, Jim, they're trying to get to all these efficient plays, I call it. They see your defense, they get to a correct play, and they go run it.
They run it to the right side, cutting back to the middle. It's another good run by Jacobs, cutting outside. Stiff arm at the 50 and still going. Cutting back to the middle, and he's down to the 29-yard line. Richie Incognito and Trevor Davis helped clear it early. But what an effort of 42 yards by Jacobs.
Watch the entire line swallow this. Gabe Jackson, everyone, and then the cut to have a back like this who's got great vision and the ability to finish. I'm telling you, this is exactly how it started and looked recently, and this is why I say this offensive line can win football games for this team.
Here they go with the handoff up the middle, and that is Washington coming in with that carry for 3. Mike Pettin is the D coordinator for the Green Bay Packers. His 2nd season. As you see their lineup with the 2 Smiths.
And they've done a great job. They put these Smiths on the edge. You see 91-55 right there. Rush 5 guys, drop 1 once in a while.
Here's Carr, all kinds of time, and he throws it away. Good coverage. Threw it in the direction of Doss. Jamon Williams on the coverage.
And for Green Bay, you need to stop the run. Obviously, that's every week, but more important this week, Oakland's receivers. I mean, how many catches do we say?
43 for those who are up today.
Okay, 43. You need to stop the run, make those guys beat you. On that play, they played man-to-man. That's what Green Bay likes to do. No one was open. Make them do that over and over again. Tough contested throws.
And again, their number 1, Tyrell Williams, remains out with a foot injury. Here's a 3rd and 7 for Carr. He's going all the way deep in that same corner. And over the head of the rookie Renfro. So the drive stalls inside the 30 after the 42-yard run by Jacobs. So will set up a field goal attempt by Daniel Carlson.
Well, and this is just tough because Renfro runs a great route, really a great design by Gruden, getting wide open Renfro, but just a little deep on the throw by Derek there. He might have thought he was going to the corner of the end zone, and he flattened it too much.
45-yard kick for Carlson, who had a nightmare of a game last year, week 2, as a member of the Minnesota Vikings. Missed 3 field goals. Game ended up in a tie. Was cut after it, but he's been solid for the Raiders. And he hits another one. 5 out of 6 on the season. And that is 17 straight inside the 50. Carlson kicks it through. 3-0. Just a moment ago, walking to the locker room, Jacobs injured after that 42-yard run. He had the medical crew around him as he was sitting on the bench, and they take him in. This was the end of that play. Hard to tell if there's anything there. But again, he goes inside for further examination, and now we'll see Aaron Rodgers and the Packers offense for the first time. Darius Shepard back to receive the kick from Daniel Carlson. Shepard had his only 5 kick returns of the season coming on Monday night in the game against the Lions. Not going to have a chance to return this one. It's a touchback. Rodgers and company operating from the 25. Aaron telling us this week, Tony, that we can run the ball on anybody. We just need to find comfort in the passing game. That really was a reflection more about just, again, getting healthy bodies on the outside.
Yeah, that really is. I mean, right now what you're finding is this league is about man-to-man on the tough plays. And if you don't have guys who can win in man-to-man, it makes it tough. But Rodgers he's more for this offense a little bit. It's happening, and he's excited about where it's going too, because after the Philadelphia game, I saw them start to do what Aaron loves to do with what the coach wants to do a little bit on first and second down, which is how I saw this playing out early in the summer.
They've got Allison in as a starter, Lazard as well. Here's a little toss out to Jones, who tiptoes after a gain of 2 they'll give him. So Aaron Rodgers, the guys he's connected with as far as touchdown passes, Adams out with the toe. You got well, the rest of them, grand total of 11 career touchdown catches, including Lazard with a big one in the 4th quarter against Detroit, who started the game. He was in on that first play. Davante Adams again out with the toe, and there he is. He was Derek Carr's running mate, if you will. What a combination they were at Fresno State. Raiders jumped 3 down here, and it is caught. What a catch, and getting back on his feet.
It's no play, though. They blew it dead before it happened.
Yeah, okay. Rodgers was thinking he had a free play. He's trying to get an explanation. He's saying, wait a minute.
This is interesting because the only guy who heard it was the ref who blew it, but no one else in the field did. They're like, well, did anybody hear it? Did you hear it? No. Should we let this go?
A catch by Allison that goes for nothing. All nullified.
Offside. Defense number 29 was unabated to the quarterback. Therefore, there was no play. 5-yard penalty. Still second down. Please reset the game clock.
Let's listen to the whistle. You can hear it.
And he was unabated. I mean, it's the correct call. The problem, though, if you're Green Bay, you spend all week, Matt LaFleur, coming up with that play to open the game for the big 50-yarder touchdown type play, and you got 5 on it, and it's like, oh, you got to be kidding me. The worst case scenario.
Now you've shown it.
Yep.
2nd and 3. To Jones. Nice cut to the outside. Look at Jones with a stiff arm of his own. And he gallops out of bounds after Conley shoves him out. Gain of 15.
Just watch him cut all the way back. I'm going front side. This is exactly how this system, it allows you to get all the way backside on a zone stretch run, they call it. And Jones with great vision. Good stiff arm at the end on Conley. And this is why you want Matt LaFleur or this type of system for Aaron Rodgers. I got 3rd down, coach. I need you to give me easy plays on 1st and 2nd down. And I see this offense starting to do that more and more each week.
Here's a 1st down handoff. Nope. Great play action. Rodgers freezes him. Nobody open. Going to roll out and keep it for a gain of about 4. Packers offense Rogers with his longtime tackles and Bakhtiari and Bulaga left and right. Jenkins, the rookie they took in the second round out of Mississippi State. Jimmy Graham, the veteran tight end. Allison, that concussion, it was frightening on Monday night, but he cleared concussion protocol. I never would have guessed he'd be back, but all things checked out, and he's up and going here tonight and had a big catch taken away with the whistle. We got Valdez-Scantling on the right side. Here's a 2nd and 6. And incomplete. Going for Scantling.
Just a slant. You see him just get a little bit of hand in there maybe, but good play. Defensively, ball too far out in front.
Paul Gunther, the D coordinator. This team certainly looked so strong over 2 weeks ago in London, defeating the Bears. And they're, of course, without Montez Burfict, suspended for the rest of the season. So they had to make all kinds of adjustments because he was a guy that was like another coach on the field.
Well, he was. And in Cincinnati, when Gunther was there, that was one of the teams during the Packers and the offense was dominant, gave them a lot of trouble with their scheme.
3rd and 6. All kinds of time again for Rodgers. Wide open. He's got Graham, who slips down at the 20. Tremendous protection for the quarterback. That sets up the big game on the first completion of this game.
While the quarterback still had the ball. Holding. Defense number 29. That penalty is declined. The result of the play is a 1st down for Green Bay.
So the penalty on Joyner is declined. It goes for 29 yards to Jimmy Graham.
So Graham's right here. Watch this. It's man-to-man coverage. Rodgers is going to look left like he's going to throw a slant. And right there, as he looks, look at the defender, look back on Rodgers and say, oh, I think he's going to throw right here. I stay. And he leaves him wide open. And Rodgers, with that great pocket presence, finds the guy. That's why you got to do your assignment right there. Coaches are like, just do your job, cover him.
Going to stay up top on 1st down. Going to go to the end zone. Turning around, and did he make the catch? What a catch it is by Aaron Jones. What an adjustment at the end. Touchdown Green Bay from 21 yards out.
I can tell you right now, this is an incredible play design and catch by this. Your running back is going to come out and run a corner route, but look at the throw, his back shoulder. I mean, way back shoulder, and he turns around as if he's just a great receiver. And Jones with an incredible catch. And like Morrow, how many corner routes do you have to defend as a linebacker on a running back?
My goodness.
And then let's defend the corner route. That's the back shoulder and turn him around.
That looked like a wide out for sure. And this is Jones, who had a fumble and a big drop on Monday night. And what a first series for him. Extra point by Crosby is good. So Rodgers gets the big ball to Jimmy Graham, and then the touchdown ball to Aaron Jones.
Official home improvement sponsor of the NFL.
The Packers Hall of Fame right inside Lambeau Field, which opened back in 1957. Lambeau did. Aaron Rodgers, touchdown pass in 39 of his last 40 at Lambeau. And Aaron Jones, by the way, his 9th touchdown of the season, which ties Christian McCaffrey for the NFL lead. His first touchdown reception after 8 rush scores. Crosby delivers the touchback, and let's get the update on Jacobs and the injury from Tracy.
Well, Jim, we saw him get injured on that 42-yard run. He went right to the locker room after being looked at on the sideline. I was told by the Raiders officials that it is a shoulder injury. He remains in the locker room, but they will not say whether he will return or not. So it is just a waiting game right now to see if he's able to come back in this game and play, Jim.
Okay, that means DeAndre Washington steps in for him. Jalen Richard is a 3rd down back, but that's something Raider fans will be holding their breath until we get official word. Status for the rest of the game with 3 tight ends in. Carr goes up top, and he completes it over to Davis. And Davis, with a flag on the field, is down at the 45. Pickup of 20.
Usually those can be offensive pass interference on the sideline because you go up and run a comeback. And you might push off and you get that wide
Pass
open.
interference. Offense, number 11. 10-yard penalty, still first down.
Davis, who was a week 3 trade coming over from the Packers for a 6th-round pick, and he's contributed.
That's close. I mean, it does give him a little at the bottom. Didn't need to there. Once that corner was off looking inside, you just stopped. You got into his hip pocket. So what you want to do is get onto the side that you're running the route. You've already won it then. Stop, come out of it. But that's the trouble with Oakland today, Jim. They don't have that many career catches. It's tough sledding.
He would have had the separation, as you pointed out, anyway. Oh, and it's going to be challenged by the Raiders. Gruden with one of the great challenge flag heaves of the season.
The ruling on the field was offensive pass interference. Oakland is challenging that ruling.
There wasn't a whole lot there, Tony, but it takes a lot to overturn these pass interference calls.
It does, and let's see. Make the call, or
more like me first. We'll all go to the White House.
Tired of all the nonsense?
Stream CBS Sports HQ.
Your free, always on Sports News Network.
Oakland challenged, the challenge denied, the call stands. Interference, pass interference on the Raiders. Davis, but look who's back. Josh Jacobs sprinted onto the field during that break. 1st and 20, comes right back in, gets the handle, and gets only back to the line of scrimmage. So they lose a timeout, but because of the break, that allowed them to get Jacobs back from the locker room onto the field. And look what he's done through his first 5 career games. Raiders all time, sandwiched in between Bo and Marcus. That's not bad.
That's good company for sure.
2nd and 20. On the slant, he's got his man, and breaking a tackle, it's Davis, who is then pile driven back near the 30 by Amos. Pick up a 16.
It's going to be a slant up top. You'll see Card look left, fire that slant inside. He's holding the middle linebacker, and Alexander thinks he has help inside, but Davis with a really good route. And Amos at the end with a good tackle.
So they've got a 3rd and 4, trying to work their way out of a 1st and 20.
This is the one thing.
They got a timeout called by the Raiders.
Well, that's 2 timeouts on this drive right here.
First 6.5 minutes.
You know, with the way that the Raiders play, they have basically the least amount of possessions. So that means they're controlling the game's tempo week in, week out. You know, if you go into a game and you have 14, 13 possessions, that means there's a lot of possessions going back and forth. If you have 6, 7, 8, every possession's so huge. That's why with Oakland, if they can get the lead, they can shorten the game on these opponents. If they don't, now all of a sudden they can't play the way they want to, and they got to throw it without a lot of great receivers out there.
3rd and 4. Richard is a running back, and Carr overthrows his target, who was open. Doss just got away from Derek. That throw, he had an open receiver, would have been near the 50 in a first.
Yeah, and he's open, and it's just a touch little throw over the top, and Doss tries to make an incredible play. It's just cover 2. You're trying to find a soft spot on the sideline, high, low in a corner who's in the flat, and Derek's going to want that one back. Just a little too high.
A.J. Cole, rookie punter from North Carolina State. Drives it back to the 10 and earns the fair catch from Shepard. So beautiful punt. 59 yards. Rodgers drove him down the field, threw a touchdown pass on their first series of the game. Now coming out for a 2nd time.
And car insurance. And by Capital One. What's in your wallet?
The Packers recently visiting the Children's Hospital of Wisconsin in Milwaukee, handing out gifts and putting a lot of smiles on children's faces. And now from the 10. Rodgers from the gun. That's back to the 1 and throws it again to Aaron Jones. So Jones catches a touchdown, then catches this one to start the next series.
Well, he loves the bounce back all the way outside. He's been doing it. Every time he touches the ball, you see he's trying to bounce it unless he gets a big hole. But he also runs these routes down the field that we're going to show you in a second.
Here you go, a stutter step move, and he's right near the first down yardage before he's pushed back. They're going to give him enough progress, I believe, for the first.
And then you'll see him run routes that you don't have people call for running backs. And really, incredible catch. But Rodgers does a great job of throwing him open there. If he throws to the sideline, he's got to get 2 feet in perfectly. And he knows that's a way to let him just turn his body and fall. Very underrated throw, but this is a complete back right here that they found a guy right here that's a really, really dynamic player that they can use all over the field, Jim. And that's hard in the NFL to have a guy who can do all that.
You saw a shot there of LaMarcus Joyner, the safety and starter for the Raiders, on the sideline for this snap. First down from the 20. And Rodgers to Vitale. The fullback.
Well,
his 5th catch of the season.
You want to know why? You go ahead and trust your coach. First and second down, I need you just to get people wide open for me, where the backup can just come in and throw. Well, that right there, Vitale goes right up, pretend like I'm going to block you. And good job. Great design by LaFleur and Nathaniel Hackett. Just really well done.
The fullback looked like a PTP or primetime player. Vitale.
Wait a
plunge
second.
Up the middle.
I'm seeing what you're doing there.
Had to give a shout out to an old pal.
Absolutely.
Williams with his first carry, and maybe give him a yard. Well, they'll say no gain. So Rodgers, meanwhile, 4 of his first 5 for 79 and a touchdown. 4 completions already of at least 20 yards. But none of them have gone to a running back. I really call a fullback Vitale. None have gone to a wide receiver, I should say. Here's Rodgers. Oh, on the sideline, that's Allison. And Allison tried to turn around and get the feet down to the whole thing. The pass just wide of the mark. So still trying to hook up with a wide out.
So this is actually that ground force I talked about. Fires everything through. This is a rocket on the sideline. He's covered. Allison's not open on the side, but Rodgers throws him back shoulder because he's actually, Harris, who's on him, I believe, there, isn't looking at Rodgers. So he knows I'll just fire ball back and be safe with it.
So there you see. A catch by Graham, 2 catches by Jones, and a catch by Vitale. That last throw right in front of John Gruden. 3rd and 10. Low snap. Rodgers able to secure it, and he's in trouble back at the 33. And that is the rookie Max Crosby, who had his first sack over in London in the last game, and now he's got another one.
Well, just a wonderful job of sitting in the middle. And you could see Carl Joseph does a great job of taking away 2 receivers. Rodgers was trying to find both of them in the middle there, and probably would have been intercepted either way. Crosby, who's coming on. I like this. Max Crosby, I'm telling you, is going to be a player. 4th round pick this year, Jim.
Yes.
I promise you, Raider fans, you got a guy there that's going to turn into somebody that I think is going to be in the Pro Bowl many times in the future.
Out of Eastern Michigan, out of 4th round, another one of Mike Mayock's draft class, which is shaping up to be just a superb class, plus some big-time free agent signees. And J.K. Scott gets the fair catch from Davis. We're back in 30 after this from State Farm.
What exactly are you doing?
I'm sending errand signals.
You do realize they only use those in college football, right?
Perfect, because you're about to get schooled.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Okay, enjoy your house and car with the massive contract I got for you.
Looks like combine your home and auto with State Farm and Save to me.
Oh, I love you, Big Red, but that is a stretch.
Back in Green Bay. This, of course, the NFL's 100th season. This is a rematch, if you will, of Super Bowl II between the Packers and Raiders, which Green Bay won. Vince Lombardi's last game as a Green Bay coach. Jacobs has maybe a yard.
Well, I tell you, Jim, the Raiders are very upset from that Super Bowl loss, and they want to use
yes,
that
they do.
Today.
They've been weighing on their minds.
They're ready for it.
Yeah. 52 years ago.
Those 2 possessions off to the good start in the first one. And really, you look at that second possession, just a penalty. Brings you back. Now you got to be perfect on 2 throws, and you just miss one a little high. And now Green Bay's where they need to be.
2nd and 9. Man, that's just a short game because Martinez was waiting for Jacobs. This is the first of 3 consecutive weeks for the Packers, if you will, residing in the AFC West. You got the Raiders. They got at the Chiefs next Sunday night, and then they'll be out in Los Angeles to take on the Chargers. 1, 2, 3 out of that division. 3rd and 6.
Well, you know you're going to get the Smith brothers rushing, and you're seeing these safeties high. They're going to try and play most of the time.
Here's the pass, blocker in front, good for the first down. That was Doss who was able to throw the block that Davis needed to move the chains. Gain of 10.
So Carr signals a quick, kind of a pick route-ish. See the block on the outside there? All of a sudden you get up, little pick block, move off, 12 men on the field, get a 5-yard penalty on a reverse.
Here's a double reverse, which, with a flag down, Davis is decked. That was Smith, Zadarius Smith, who read it all the way. Alex Kemp,
too many
the
men on the
referee.
field. Defense, number 95. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Well, and that's Lancaster trying to run off, and that's why you hurry up. So you'll see at the bottom, I had to get a big circle there because that's a D lineman, Jim.
Yeah, he needs it.
Didn't quite get off in time. I use that for D lineman and my producer. It's my
very big circle needed. Very big circle.
Jim Rickoff, our buddy.
1st and 5 from the 33. Over to Jacobs. Nice little sidestep. Gets near the first down yardage. They'll have him a half-yard short. We've got an update. Back to the studio.
Minnesota evens it up.
Yeah, Kirk Cousins, one thing he can do, he can throw a pretty long ball, that's for sure. Here he throws it to Adam Thielen in the back of the end zone. What a catch, 25 yards. That ties the score up 7-7 in Minnesota.
Back to Jim Nance, Tony Romo, and Tracy Wolfson.
Okay, thank you, fellas. Vikings on a recent roll. Lions trying to shrug off a game they thought they had won here Monday night. Here's a 2nd and 1. As Jacobs plows ahead. Workmanlike for 4 and a first. Tonight on 60 Minutes, 1 year after the mass shooting at a synagogue in Pittsburgh, hear the surprising ways the survivors are coping. Plus, Christopher Columbus's letters are among the most valuable works ever printed. So what happened to them? You'll find out tonight on 60 Minutes.
You got them, don't you?
They're worth a lot. Hold on to them.
Everything's at Pebble Beach these days.
1st and 10 from the 42. Open in the middle. Down to the 42. It's Carrier, who's a Wisconsin kid, originally drafted into the league as a wide receiver with the Raiders, comes back in his 7th year. Oh, they got a flag down.
Still first down.
What did they call, Jim?
Holding call.
Oh, gosh, that's too bad, because look at the fullback right up the middle, the design. Gruden getting a play that I don't see very often. Similar to what the Packers did, but you see the hold right there. 87, 72 right there. I think they called it on Sharp, right?
Yep, Sharp, the fill-in right tackle. So that penalty cost the Raiders a big gain. They've had a 20-yard play called back and a 16-yard play called back. 1st and 20. And coming out of nowhere with a couple of jump cuts and picking up 4 is Jacobs again.
And this is a killer for Oakland. Okay, they're not a team that just gets explosive plays. They're super efficient. They try and get to the right play. But, wow, look at Zadarius Smith. I mean, you see that all over the tape. And Gabe Jackson, who's back with a big hit.
Ooh.
Preston Smith. But the Raiders can't overcome this. They only scored 2 touchdowns this year with an offensive penalty. I mean, it just kills them because they're not a team who's just going to line up now and, throw 28 yards, strikes down the sideline. They don't have the guys on the outside. But if you're a Packer fan, now you can come after him and try and create a turnover. Sit in zone, look at the quarterback's eyes.
2nd and 16 throw at the 40. They give him out underneath the short pass to Richard. And you've been talking about Preston Smith and Zadarius Smith. Zadarius coming up by way of the Ravens by free agency. Preston by way of the Redskins. Look at the combined hits, the combined sacks. That's the most by any tandem in the league so far this season.
It goes to show you, Jim, you can still get better by, I mean, this is free agency. They got those two guys. They were perfect, like, complements for this football team. Their style, their system, and the way they play. And now we'll see.
3rd and 11. Carr zips it wide open for the first in Green Bay territory is Doss. Keelan Doss goes out of bounds at the 28. And Richard did a great job of picking up the blitz here to give the quarterback time for 31 yards.
It's a perfect design play by John Gruden against the perfect coverage. Send the guy out, clear out, come underneath. And he says, one penalty, we can overcome anything.
Monday.
Back for the second quarter. And Tony, you were talking about the Raiders not being a big play offense, but they did have gains of 42 yards on a run by Jacobs and a 31-yard pass play.
And I saw it against Chicago. They started to do a little bit more early in the game, too. They have it. It's just without receivers who can get open in man-to-man coverage all the time, it's difficult, Jim.
To the short side. To Jacobs. Just back to the line of scrimmage. He's already over 60 yards total offense, but 42 coming on that one run by the rookie.
Yeah, and he's, you know, we already talked about does he really do everything. 86 rushing yards, and we know the Packers not quite where they want to be yet in the rushing yards allowed. But right now, Oakland is in a position on the road. I mean, you're really still controlling this. Rodgers has only been on the field twice. You could take this down another 3-4 minutes if you kept the efficiency going. That's the way you have to play this game, but you have to connect on those third downs. And right now, that's been why Oakland's losing.
2nd and 10. Look who's wide open for the touchdown, Darren Waller. There's a flag at the line of scrimmage.
Holding, offense number 72. 10-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
They get David Sharp for the 2nd time for holding on this drive.
And this is a backbreaker if you're Oakland. This is the matchup, 72 right there. See him going against 94 Lowry, and he doesn't need to put his hands on it.
I mean, how did Darren Waller get so wide open?
They had 2 slants, and he ran a wheel up the sideline as a tight end. It's kind of a pickish route. And you see Trent Brown right there, who played so well so far this year. He's playing fantastic football, and, tough right there. That because you have a touchdown on the board. You're leading Green Bay with a break.
2nd and 20 instead. Carr steps up. Zips it to Carrier. Takes a couple of Packers with him to the 21. Carrier had his first catch taken away by penalty, so they come back and get him. This time, it holds up for 17.
Well, Sharp once again gets run right by Preston Smith, but Carr does a good job. And then he throws a strike right in the middle. And you see a good route by Carrier going up on Redmond and kind of doing a back curl, come back to the quarterback, make it look like you're running out, and then curl back in.
3rd and 3.
They're trying to get to the right play. They look at the coverage, man to man. Everyone, here's what we're doing. Line it up. You want to play versus man.
Carr slides left. Throws, gets the first down. Short toss to Renfro. They've overcome 2 holding penalties and a couple of 1st and 20 situations to get all the way back and keep moving down the field.
They have, and this is really impressive because to me, if they want to control the ball, it's always about third downs. But they're getting to so many plays like that. They get up to the line of scrimmage, they look at what you're doing, and then they have a whole team. It's just not a signal to one guy. This is where Gruden has really morphed Carr. He knows this game so well. They can get to the right play, and everyone knows it and runs it, including the lineman.
There's Jacobs in the middle of the line for a gain of 3. Let's go back to JB and Phil with an update.
Hey, Jim, Detroit has answered back.
Well, here we go for the 2nd time today. Matthew Stafford to Marvin Jones. This time for a 3-yard touchdown catch. Detroit leading Minnesota 14-7.
Back to Jim Nance.
Thank you, fellas. Kenny Clark slow to get up, and it's going to be helped to the sideline. Former first-round pick out of UCLA.
He's done a good job this year. Hope he's fine. Packers are off to a really good start on defense. You can tell, you know, we keep talking about Oakland controlling and possessing the ball. They have to in this game because Green Bay has the ability to, A, score. They've gotten off to great starts. They've really done a good job. And then as I see their offense continuing to use some of the Rodgers normal stuff that he's great at as well, you see that they can come back. I'm not entirely positive Oakland can come back when they're down 21-3 or 7. Green Bay can, but...
Tyler Lancaster comes in for Clark. 2nd and 7. Drop back. Throws. Complete at the 10. It'll be 3rd and 3 as Doss has a second catch on this drive. First one closed out the first quarter with a 31-yard gain.
And this was a good pass rush by Green Bay there because they got in Carr's face. But I can tell you, John Gruden's called a perfect game in my opinion. Mike Pettin does a good job getting people schemed up. Great job on 3rd down, especially in the red zone. You see right there, they got all these guys up there like a cover 0 look. You got to change, get someone in to protect, or you better get a pick play quickly. This ball's got to come out.
3rd and 3. Carr has hit his last 8 passes. It comes out quickly, and diving for the end zone, and the touchdown is the rookie Foster Moreau. Carr did exactly what he had to do, what you said he had to do.
Yep, and what he did, this is why I said John Gruden's called a perfect game, and Derek Carr, watch on the right. Waller gets up and fakes a pick, and Moreau gets it wide open. And Carr, guys are coming free. You got to get that ball out. Perfect throw. Does he get in here, Jim? He's in.
Yeah, great effort by the 4th-round pick out of LSU, who had his best game the last time out over in London with 4 catches. That's his 2nd touchdown. And the extra point makes it 10-7 Oakland. Carr has hit his last 9 passes, including a touchdown to take the lead. Never get enough Lombardi.
Yeah, that's amazing.
He was introduced on February 3rd, 1959 in downtown Green Bay at the Hotel Norland in the Crystal Ballroom as the Packers coach. And what things he did during that span.
You were talking about that. You said, I think we might have been in the room yesterday.
I was feeling the ghost of Lombardi.
Yes. A lot of history right here in this town.
Shepard will have a chance to run it back from the 3, but not very far. Pancake by Eric Harris. Well, we mentioned already the league's really high on these rematches this year. 18 Super Bowl rematches taking place over the course of the season. In Super Bowl II, it was Starr, Dower, touchdown Green Bay, and then Herb Adderley kind of put the game away with a pick 6. CBS was there to call it. Ray Scott, Matt Summerall, and Jack Kemp.
And those 2 big guys at the top that were fighting each other. We got to bring those big old...
Bring them back.
Blow up dolls back. Those are fantastic.
From the 18, toss to Jones. Conley had him for a loss, and he was able to break free. There's some factoids for you, Tony. Super Bowl II. 18 future Hall of Fame players and coaches in that game. It was Lombardi's last game as the Packers head coach. He, of course, go on and coach at the Redskins. And it was actually one of 23 Super Bowl rematches this season, including the rematch of Super Bowl I next week for Green Bay and Kansas City.
Yep. Both teams there hope it's a possible Super Bowl preview, too. The way they're both off to the start, although Kansas City dicey situation there with Mahomes.
Have a stretch without him. About a month, they figure. 2nd and 6. And it's Vitale. Vitale with his 2nd catch. He ran away from Mayowa, and he picks up 21.
So watch on the right. All he's looking at is, hey, you got so many guys in here. I'm going to block for you. Run out there to the flat, and I'm just going to throw it quickly because no one's covering you. And you see Vitali. What's he saying when he gets those passes? Just a wonderful job getting on the edge.
We're going to win a little Dick Vitale. Is what you want out of Vitale?
I feel like you want
I know that's okay, baby. First and 10 from the 43. Jones, he stumbled, able to stay balanced enough for a gain of 3. We've got another update. JB and Phil keeping it busy.
Rams looking to end the 3-game skid.
Yeah, oh baby, Jared Goff to Todd Gurley in the back of the end zone there. Nice catch by him. It puts the Los Angeles Rams up 10-3 over the reeling Atlanta Falcons.
Back to Jim Nance and Dick Vitale. Tony Romo.
Okay, baby. I like that, Phil. That was good. 2nd and 7. Comes a blitz. Rodgers able to get the screen pass away. And look at Jones picking up another big chunk. Got a flag down in the secondary. Play went for 19.
Pass interference. Offense, number 16, blocking downfield. 10-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
Well, and this is a great job. Watch Rodgers look left. I got a screen right here, guys, over here to this side. Everyone run over there and throws it back, but then you're going to see 16 Akumaro. Let's see where the penalty is. Whoa, that one's that's pretty weak right there, Jim. That's possible to throw the flag on that one. And I'm saying never throw it, but that one looks very dicey.
Well, wipes out the big gain. Takes him back to a 2nd and 17 at the 36. Rodgers out of the backfield to Williams. Takes 2 Raiders to bring him down. A lot of effort to bring him down. Conley and Joyner. And he scratches and claws for 9.
Well, Rodgers, an incredible job. I mean, this is an incredible throw. Watch Rodgers. The pocket's tight around him. He can't step anything. This is that force where you just jump and you fire it. All you do is jump off the ground. It's that ground force we talk about, and then you just use all upper body and just sling that thing over perfectly on the sideline. That's rare. People can't do that other than Jim Nance.
in the day. Back in the day.
Rodgers looking at the defense here, trying to find the right play. He likes it. Go with it.
Needs 8 for a first. Got it at the Oakland 40. Geronimo Allison for 15. It was Joseph who was trying to crash in on the quarterback.
Well, you see blitzes, but it's just so far away. Allison reads the hot route and comes right after it.
Watch this hit he takes.
And he does take a hit, but this is why, if you're blitzing a veteran quarterback like Rodgers, you better be coming from really close to the line of scrimmage. And that's all close to a penalty as well. That's hit low right there. Rodgers feels that. He's got to check his... He literally gets up there. We have that sash on there, and you're always like, that's got to be perfectly level. You don't like it to be off center.
Thinking, check the towel. First catch by a wideout, and he's down to the 35 with Aaron Jones. Always got to make sure that's straight and properly aligned.
Well, you know, when you put all your stuff on the glove, you look at just people that put, like, you have headbands or like wristbands or whatever. It's got to be perfect. Everyone, like, if you look, 99% of the guys have it like perfectly symmetrical, exactly how they want it. Whenever it gets a little off, it's like they gotta like start over, and everyone's got their thing.
Okay. 2nd and 5. Drive approaching 5 minutes after an 8.5-minute Oakland drive. Handoff. About a yard short, a long yard to go. Jones for 4.
Well, this is the game within a game between Paul Gunther and Aaron. Watch, Aaron's looking over here. Can I hand this ball off, or is he coming? Are these guys coming? And you'll see he calls this because he knows he's not coming, but you're going to watch that cat and mouse game from that slot corner. Is he coming or is he not? Gunther wants to make him feel like he does. Sometimes he doesn't, like you'll never get a beat on it. But Aaron's been around the block. He's seen a lot.
Here's the 3rd and 1, Tony.
Blue 58! Blue 50, hot go!
Trying to get him to jump. Now here he goes. Up the middle. First down. Jones.
That's a wonderful design, because what happens is you run across, we're going to hand here, and it just makes the defensive linebackers one step slow to fill that gap, because you don't know if Rodgers gives it on the jet sweep to Lazard, and that's all you need when it's 3rd and 1, and that's football right there. Whitehead in the hole. Jones finishing the run strong.
Now at the 29. 6 minutes and 17 seconds into this drive. And a timeout called by Rodgers. 5:12 to go in the first half. Been a good one. Raiders in front.
Domino's. Order online and track your order. And by Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Rated M.
The cheeseheads are out in full force, even for the silver and black. Verizon halftime reports coming up with JB, Phil, Nate Boomer, and Coach Cowher. Scores and highlights coming up. Verizon halftime report. You were raised in Wisconsin. You must have had one of those hats at one time in your life.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. I tell you, if you're out here, you've seen cheeseheads all over this state.
Got to be a picture that exists somewhere. 1st and 10.
You've been searching.
Rodgers steps up, flings it, got his man, gain of 9, and that's Lazard with his first catch.
Yeah, and Lazard with a great job last week. We wanted to see him look at him come across the field. Aaron has to slide in that pocket, and then you see just a little look off right there. Watch this little look off at the end. I think he tries to do kind of a half version.
Aaron really excited about what's happened with this young man's career. Signed off the practice squad from Jacksonville after being undrafted out of Iowa State, coming up big last Monday and jumped on the right side of that line.
I'll start. Offense, number 77. 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
We have not had an incompletion from either quarterback in over 16 minutes on the clock between these two.
Yeah, it's just been really efficient football, and that's exactly how these two teams have been playing this year. Green Bay's been a little more explosive in some of the throws down the field that Aaron's done, but you're seeing today, this Derek Carr, they're opening up this offense a little more each week, and they're starting to get, if they get big plays, they're going to have time in that pocket. And if you can run the football, you're going to have opportunities.
2nd and 6. Again, has the time, but throws it away on a flag. Is thrown at the 1-yard line. Jimmy Graham was tangled up with Eric Harris. And Gruden saying, what? Where?
Well, I think it looked to me like he was
pass interference.
Pass interference.
Defense, number 25. The ball is placed at the spot of a foul. Automatic 1st down.
I mean, at the top, it didn't look like he was like holding them. Like, let's see, right there's one. There's two there.
You got a hold of the jersey. You're going to get flagged every time for that.
Yeah, that's definitely going to get called.
So they do mark it at the point where he grabbed hold of the jersey, which is closer to the 4. That's a 22-yard penalty.
And you see, though, Aaron was actually throwing that ball away. And John is saying it's an uncatchable ball.
Now they mark it at the 3. 1st and goal.
Now this is where it's interesting. Aaron gets up. You can hand this ball off. He's looking at the coverage right here. Do you have numbers? Can these guys over here block the guys on the left side of the line? If not, then you got to come out and you got to throw it or do something on the other side.
Shovel pass it is to Aaron Jones. And he is sandwiched just past the line of scrimmage by Leggett and a couple of other Raiders.
And it's an outstanding job. It's a play that we're running over here, but nope. Now we go over here because we have the look for it. And The guy who breaks that play up is Whitehead. He comes running in and disrupts it. You saw Crosby get up the field, but that's supposed to happen that way, and he's blocked.
How often do you see this? The Raiders had the football for 8.5 minutes, resulted in a touchdown. And right now, this drive is at the 8-minute mark for the Packers.
That's why we said this game is about possessions. One big play. And there it is. You see, you got to finish these off with touchdowns. You're only going to get, right now, Jim, what is that, 3 possessions each team? So if you only get 3 and Green Bay gives it up, Oakland gets it, you only get 6 or 7 in a game? Man, how huge is a drop pass on a 3rd down then? And these teams, this is how they're winning right now. Efficient football and great design.
That was Jamal Williams with the touchdown.
It's a great job by Lewis not picking on that play. He had the opportunity. We saw how open Lewis was. Aaron sees angles like in his sleep. Easy trail catch.
Crosby, extra point. Good. 3 drives for each side. That's it. Last 2 long touchdown drives for touchdowns by each side. We've got a marker down on the PAT.
Yeah, that means usually the Raiders did something to the center. Can't
personal foul, roughing the snapper. Defense number 98. That 15-yard penalty will be enforced on the kickoff. Timeout.
8 minutes, 6 seconds, 82 yards down the field. Penalty, 14.
Different worlds find true love.
Oh my God.
Anything's possible on a new Bob Hearts Abishola, CBS Monday.
You know, the Packers running backs, both Jones and Williams, have touchdown receptions in this game. That's the first time the Packers have had, in fact, 2 running backs catch touchdowns in the same game for the Packers in 15 years.
15 years. I tell you what, you know what's been impressive today? The play calling by both coaches. Matt LaFleur, fullback, I'm going to block you. I'm going to block you, Carl Jones. Nope, I'm running right up the sideline. That's a design. John Gruden says, okay, I saw that. I'm going to go ahead and give you mine. I'm going to block you right down the middle with my tight end carrier. Nope, I'm going to run right by you. This play got called back by Oakland, but you see, I'm really impressed with the design by both these coaches so far at the start of this game. Explosive plays, running plays, just really good in rhythm.
Washington is the tailback in gold. The Green Bay native is the fullback. And it's a good start to this series. 8-yard run. So Matt LaFleur is the 15th head coach in Green Bay history. The previous 14 at Green Bay have never gone to the playoffs in their first season. And of the rookie coaches this year, he's off to the best start at 5-1.
Is that yodeling?
That's a little yodeling.
That's fantastic.
2nd and 2. There's Carr down the field. Nice catch. Oh, Waller, they rule it a catch.
I tell you, Waller, tight end, having a fantastic season. Carr with a really good throw here, keeps him in bounds. Did he catch it in bounds? 1, 2.
Did. You know what? That's his first catch of the game. He's their leading receiver by a ton.
Yeah.
And he just got a new contract this week, a contract extension. Here's the first down play by Carr. Down the middle, wide open. It's Waller to the 10 and tripped up at the 2 by Will Redmond.
Whew.
Back-to-back throws from Carr to Waller.
Well, it's really just a busted coverage. Look it up top. I believe that's Amos. Yes, Amos is back there. It's just right down the middle. Carr catches it, and it's a great tackle just to get him down before the end. But Carr finding it, straight seam, busted coverage.
Jacobs back in on 1st and goal. And we reached the 2-minute warning. The Raiders, some big play action today.
On CBS is sponsored by the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. And by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Coming out of the 2-minute warning, Kenny Clark has come back in on that defensive front for Green Bay. Waller has set up the Raiders at the 3 out for 2 big catches. Here's Carr, going to give it to the rookie. Jacobs looking outside, cuts back, and he's pushed back after a gain of about 1.
And I'd call timeout if I was Green Bay here. It looks like they did. It's a really good run, stretch play. Preston Smith sets it up, but this big play that set it up was an incredible play call. 4 guys, 2, 3, 4. Well, guess what happens? It means everyone's got to get over here. I see Redmond here. Here's Amos. You see him running there? Amos is hoping Redmond's going to get back over and help him. Miscommunication by the 2 of them. And they don't know right there whose assignment that is, because John Gruden put 4 guys on one side of the field and put them in a bind. Great design, and now it's a big play.
2nd and goal. Waller with 39 catches on the season. He had 18 on his career before this year. What a season he's had. Jacobs standing back at the 10. Rolling out with it. Carr looking. No options, and he dives for the pylon.
Oh, did that go through into the end zone, Jim?
I think so. It was just short of it, I believe. They're going to mark it about a half yard out. That's that crazy rule we saw a couple of times last year.
Jim,
teams lost possession.
I know. This is going to be eerily close, though. I feel
ruling
like
on the field is that the runner was out of bounds before the ball came out. Third down.
We're going to see if that comes out and goes in the end zone. It's Green Bay's ball. Oh, that's out, Jim. Oh. I'm saying this is going to Green Bay.
Wow, it did go on the other side of the pylon. See if there's any contact with the sideline before that ball's out. I'll tell you, after what happened a couple of times last year, the Jets had it in a game. Touchdown taken away in a game against the Patriots. It's such a risky play. I don't know why you do it.
Unless it's a 4th down. Unless it's a 4th down, you really can't anymore.
Let's bring in Gene Steratore.
Not yet, Jim. Let's not bring it in now.
Yeah.
Let's make him wait.
It's a cool bear this week.
In the NFL's haste to keep these games moving, they just made an announcement here that received a thunderous ovation. It is ruled a fumble, Tony, and it will be Green Bay ball at the 20. This happened to Derek Carr in a game against the Dallas Cowboys. You see, he was not out of bounds as the ball was coming out and went on the other side of the pylon. And Gene Steratore, you were the referee in that game when it happened to Carr. The exact same thing.
I was, Jim. And another thing happened in that game, if I remember, with an index card that took a little bit away from that fumble. Right. as I reflect back.
Same game. Wow. Okay, so the Packers take over. And they get the pass over to Williams. So this one, I mean, you can look at it from every angle, Gene. There's nothing that's going to be out of bounds before the ball comes out.
No, I agree, Jim. And you know, it's such a risky play by a quarterback, knowing that if you do fumble that football and it goes through and out of the end zone, it's not like a fumble forward out of bounds. It's a touchback. And as much as you want to get that extra yard in that situation, you may want to just tuck it and take it where it is, you know.
Here's a 2nd and 3 from behind. Rodgers being chased and throws it away.
Well, and this is a huge possession, Jim, because 14-10, Green Bay gets the ball.
That's right.
So if they were to go down and get points right here after Oakland, you know, you had to think they were going to get 7 there.
Knocking at the door.
I mean, you have 4 downs from right there, basically, if you go for it. And I think right now Green Bay can really, like we said, in this amount of possessions, 6 to 8 possessions in a game, when you just give up points automatically and give it to them, I mean, that's just a game changer. And John Gruden's like, we're doing perfect here, and we're not getting it done.
3rd and 3. Packers with 1 timeout. From behind, he's able to get rid of it in time. And Conley makes the pick at the 40-yard line. Conley was in front of Mercedes Lewis. We do have a flag down in the offensive backfield.
Yeah, Rodgers looked like he got hit low, so regardless of the weird catching going on at the end of that, it's going to be Packers ball, first down. Unless the Packers caught that, then you're not going to take the penalty, although it looks like it's going to be a 15-yarder anyway, so you just tack it on at the end.
The ruling on the field was a complete pass. Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense number 91. That 15-yard penalty will be added to the end of the play. Automatic first down.
Called on Mayowa.
I do think you got to watch and see if this is a catch, because this is a huge difference. You're going to see the hit.
Boy, that is in the knee area.
Yeah, that's a correct call. You can't hit him there.
No.
And now this catch, though, is going to add that's a drop. Now, that's coming back, but it's going to be 15 yards, first down. This should go upstairs.
So we got a booth review, as there should be. And we'll be back in 30 seconds after this from Lowe's.
This is our house. And Lowe's is proud to be the official home improvement sponsor of the NFL. Because we know every win is worth celebrating.
Get Valspar paint starting at $19.98. Do it right for less. Start with Lowe's.
Here's what they're looking at as the teams are retreating, because this is going to be ruled an incompletion. There it hits the ground. It may have actually hit the foot of Mercedes Lewis. Bounced into the air. Conley had it briefly. Well, and then Lewis, a little dipsy-do, ends up with it. Did that hit the ground or hit just his foot? That looks like it hit the ground right there.
It looks like it hit the ground. Yep. I mean, Packer ball, 40, 41, 42
After
yard
review,
line.
the ball hit the ground and the pass is incomplete. The 15-yard penalty for the roughing the passer foul will still be enforced. It'll be first down for Green Bay at the 42-yard line.
One last postscript on that botched goal line situation for the Raiders. You got to give a nod to the tackle that was made on Waller, a touchdown-saving tackle by Will Redmond.
Yeah,
it looked like he was going to go all the way.
He ran him down, and that's why just effort. All these coaches on defense, if you just give us effort, you know, it can make up for so much, because you never know what's going to happen after that.
So from the 42, just outside of a minute remaining in the second quarter. Pass out of the hands of Lazard. Rodgers floated it right over the defender perfectly.
Well, this is the one you want to make your quarterback happy. You finish these plays, because that was a big-time read and throw. And Lazard has to come up with that. He just felt the safety coming over. He made the big plays on Monday night, but Rodgers looks inside and then fires that thing that really no one else can do against that coverage in that spot. But got to come up with those. That was a perfect throw.
Lazard with one catch today for 9 yards. Second and 10. And Allison with Worley on him right away. Keeps him inbounds too. Again, Packers with one timeout. That goes for only 4.
Great job by Paul Gunther keeping the corner. Made it look like man on everybody. Corner comes off and keeps him in bounds. This is a tough call, because you want to get this first down and go, but you don't want to give Oakland time. To me, I'd snap it and go and trust your defense.
3rd and 6. 3rd and 6. Pass to a wide open Allison for the first down at the 45 of Oakland.
Now you got to use the timeout here.
And they do. 23 seconds. And out of timeouts. And once we reach halftime, we're going to go back to the starting 5 in the studio. JB, Phil, Luke Grindin looking at the highlight sheets, getting ready. Nate, Coach Cowher, Boomer. All coming up on the Verizon halftime report. Well, you start thinking about Mason Crosby, who won it on Monday night, got to do the Lambeau Leap, first kicker to ever do so. His longest ever at Lambeau Field is 55 yards.
Well, saying that, then we need to get him at least 6-7 yards. So this should be something quick, and you get up and you spike it. So you want to throw a slant. He wants to see the coverage you could throw to.
Goes toward the sideline, and Lazard holds on this time.
And you still have time for the exact same type of play. See, Rodgers trying to get this ball out fast so he has a chance to run up and spike it. But now you're at least in field goal range. So it's really a tough spot if you're Oakland, because you can take a shot. You know, Green Bay, this is one of those where I'm like, I'm throwing a slant on this side, I'm taking a home run if you're going to be too aggressive on defense. Either way, we're at least getting a 55-yard field goal, 53, 54.
This will be 55 from this point. Perfect conditions, too. The wind, field is solid as Rodgers goes for something much bigger. Kumaro dives for the pylon. It's a touchdown.
Well, watch Rodgers. I'm going to look this safety right here and hold him inside. And then, boom, right over the top to the right.
Right over Worley.
And Worley was thinking, Kumaro, see, Worley thinks he's got help from that safety. He's looking back in the backfield, and Rodgers.
Watch the sideline.
Don't watch Rodgers' head. Oh, I think he might have touched out. Kumaro, did he keep that right there?
The previous play is under review.
And that's why, right there, that play, you're going to try and throw quick to get your field goal, but you have one guy going deep. If they bust or they don't, you have the opportunity, and Aaron knows that. And right there.
Oh, is it touching Gene's territory? What do you see?
The ruling on the field is that it was in bounds. It looks so close, but I don't see anything right off of these angles yet that tell me they would overturn that. It definitely appears, but I don't think that that is conclusive enough, in my opinion, for them to switch that. I think it's to be noted as well that this receiver reaching for the pylon, different than Derek Carr, has both hands on the football as he's diving for the end zone.
That is the paradox of it all.
So let me ask you, Gene, can you just go look and see if his foot hit the white over there? If you're like on this field, it's so obvious. I feel like you could just be a ref and be like, let's just go look at this foot.
That's what you asked for, right
there. I'm like,
I don't know if we have to look, Tone. We just asked one of our cameramen to give us that beautiful shot right there, and then start looking for spike holes right now.
We're gonna have it enlarged.
It's the next one right here. That next one right there, that right foot. And we can almost see as we kind of move the mouse around. Right there would be at the 5, it looks like. No, is that the...
That's just inside the 5, Tony. Yes.
Well, the question is it touching paint? Is it touching paint?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like on this field it's super obvious. It's like, did you take a divot in the white or no? There it is. So it's just inside the 5-yard line is where you're looking.
How about the pylon at one end and the pylon at the
After
other?
review, the ruling on the field stands.
Touchdown. Touchdown. Killer stretch for the Raiders from one end to the next. 14-point swing if they kick the PAT.
17-14 at half, most likely. Instead, 20-10, and Green Bay gets the ball
To start the third quarter.
What a swing. Just a killer going in at halftime.
Crosby adds that point with 12 seconds to go in the half. It just wasn't enough there to change the ruling on the field.
There wasn't. And I mean, I agree. Just, you know, without having more evidence than we saw, you can't change that. And give Green Bay credit. What a drive.
It started at this end. Carr, for the second time in his career, fumbles trying to reach for the pylon. Instead, fumbles on the far side of it. Football Green Bay. And then the stretch for the pylon by Kumaro.
I mean, what a play by Kumaro. Rodgers says, Kumaro, Kumaro. I don't think he actually said that, but maybe.
Sounded just like that.
Yes, and there he is.
2 touchdowns by the Packers in 3 minutes and 15 seconds. But it's what it could have been at the other end for the Raiders. Instead, it goes all the way the other way for 6.
And what happens when they get Adams back? I mean, just some of the stuff they're doing, you know, in the run game and the play action game, and then you got the down the field passing of Rodgers and the drop back whenever you need it. It's a formidable opponent for anybody, I can promise you. Green Bay's in it for the long haul this year. Unless some injury things are in, but they're good. And watch up top. Rodgers, eyeball inside, look over here. Corner sees Rodgers looking left. They don't think quarterbacks just come right back and launch it or do that, but that's exactly it. Coach and quarterback in sync.
Rodgers with his third touchdown pass of the half. And the Raiders take a knee to close it out with a very difficult stretch to accept.
I would say both teams played outstanding in the first half. The ball, this is why everyone says the ball, turnovers matter in the NFL, especially in these type of games where teams are efficient on offense.
That's the end of the first half with the score. Green Bay 21, Oakland 10. Halftime is next after these first half highlights from Verizon and a word from your local station.
Verizon Up gave us tickets to the Super Bowl.
We were able to meet Shawn Mendes.
Verizon got me into the NFL Combine. They don't even sell tickets to this thing.
Verizon knows you love live music and sports.
We got to be this far away from the stage.
That's why we give you access to more jaw-dropping experience.
Want to stay up to date? Hey Siri, show me football scores.
Back at Lambeau Field, the Packers will receive the second half kickoff after a big turn of events late in the second quarter. Now the question is, if you're the Raiders, how do you let go of that and get back into this game?
Well, it's difficult. Emotionally, you played a perfect half. I mean, you're the head coach. You feel like you called it right. Our defense played hard. We played good. It was efficient, but it's a turnover here, and Derek now has to mentally be like, I'm playing good. I made one mistake. Our team is fine. Expect Aaron. You almost have to think in your brain that Aaron's going to make a mistake at some point. And if you're Aaron, your job, though, is to say, I'm never going to give you anything. You've got to be perfect the rest of the game. I know our team is playing just as good. And really, it's the ball. They have to just worry about the ball and go out there and do really both teams what they did in the first half.
There's the good summary of the first half with Green Bay's 2 touchdowns in the last 3.5 minutes. And Aaron Jones with a touchdown catch, as well as Jamal Williams with a catch and Jake Kumaro right before halftime. So the Packers, with the Raiders winning the toss, taking the football at the top. Now Green Bay gets to start the third. Shepard from the 2. Stumbles for a moment, makes the cut, and gets it across the 20, and we take it down to the sideline to Tracy.
Well, Jim, you talked about the turn of events for the Raiders at the end there, and I can tell you John Gruden was just heated. He was frustrated. He left the field before the half even ended, didn't want to talk to me at all, so I'm sure that was one interesting locker room speech he gave. As for Matt LaFleur, though, he said offensively here we need to continue to be aggressive, take shots, but defensively we're giving up too many plays, and we need to make sure that he doesn't get the ball out too quickly, and just too many missed tackles for this defense of the Packers, Jim.
Okay, Tracy, there was nothing controversial about the Carr fumble. It was right by the rule, exactly what the official call was on that. Gruden was upset about a hold call earlier as Rodgers launches deep. Valdez-Scantling wide open, even with 2 Raiders back deep. He had huge separation for 59 yards.
Well,
this first snap.
I mean, Jim, I can tell you right now, watch. He's going to go old corner, post corner, and go all the way across. Jimmy Graham's wide open across the field, but Aaron says, nope, I've done this with Jordy Nelson a million times. And when they get that coverage in this play, he's thinking home run, and what a route. Watch this. Corner, boom, post corner, back over to the post, they call it. And you're running away from everybody. It's a long developing. What a play call by LaFleur, and Hackett coming right out.
Here's Rodgers. Play action, sidearms it over to Jones. Gets a solid footing and has 4. Valdez-Scantling was questionable coming into the game because of an ankle. And he's able to pick up a 59-yard pass play.
Just that, and this is, you feel really comfortable when you have momentum, right? That's when you want to call that as a coach. You're like, let's go, let's bury him. You feel good about that. And it's 17-14. You come out and you take a sack or something right there. It's like,
Look at what the wideouts have done after being blanked in the first quarter. 141 yards in the second quarter and in the first minute and a half of the third quarter. Again, another sidearm throw. Graham takes a Raider with him, takes Carl Joseph down to the 8-yard line for a 1st and goal to go.
I'm telling you, when Adams gets back, if this team stays healthy, it's going to be tough going against this offensive football team at Green Bay, because there's so many things you have to prepare for. It used to be, how are we going to deal with Rodgers? His eyes and how he's going to read it versus these coverages. Now it's, okay, we got to get first down, then we got to get second down. We got to handle these play actions, and there's Adams. And now it's just like, you don't spend all week on the drop back game and how you're going against him. That's only one day now.
Adams been out with a toe since the Thursday night game against Philadelphia, which he had 10 catches. And timeout called by Rodgers once he got to the line.
Well, he saw 2 guys move and he knew it would have been a penalty.
Let's go back down to Tracy.
You guys were talking about Davante Adams. I spoke with him before the game. He's just so frustrated that he can't be out there helping his team. He told me he actually had ligament damage in that toe, so it's taking longer than expected, but he's getting better. Not NFL ready just yet, but he is hopeful that he can return to practice next week. We'll see if he can get back out here and help this team.
And again, his college quarterback is on the other sideline, Derek Carr. They were teammates for 2 years at Fresno State. They both were second-round picks in 2014. And that last year, Derek threw for over 5,000 yards and over 50 touchdowns, with a great many of them going to Davante. Remaining great pals 5 years down the road now.
Yeah, and they said it too.
1st and goal.
Think about that. We just saw Carr. It was 14-10. He has the ball to go up 17. The next time he's going to touch it, it might be 28-10.
Here's the little throw out of the backfield. Diving for that same pylon and getting it is Allison for the touchdown. Again, the symmetry off the pylon. Allison stretches out, has it, and Rodgers has thrown touchdown pass number 4.
Yeah, I don't think he threw a touchdown pass here, Jim, but I tell you, it was a great play call. I think it looked like he touched out.
Oh, he's way out.
Yes, that's just to the naked eye. When you're watching that, it was like
the previous play is under review.
But really, a good design, efficient football, and just so much to deal with this in this offense.
It will be, well, you saw it going to break. There was no doubt that was going to be overturned as Allison stepped out of bounds very clearly, just inside the 4.
Well, I tell you, that was a really well-designed play that got him wide open. It's actually, Allison just got a little discombobulated where he didn't quite have control. But that should have been a walk-in touchdown. Jimmy Graham was open. Allison's wide open.
They've made it down to this point on 4 plays, all passes. 3 wides, Jones the running back.
Sees 5'9" blitzing, thinks.
Takes the handoff to Jones. Now he's going to run with it. He's going to walk it in. Aaron Rodgers with the touchdown.
Well, this is just Aaron Rodgers reading the defense over and over, and he sees Whitehead. He goes, all right, if he blitzes, I want to hand this ball off, but he says, nope, we're not gonna. I know 59's coming. I'm gonna fake it right at you, and then I'm gonna come out and have options and just a walk in.
Well, for a brief moment as Crosby lines up for the extra point, when they first ruled it on the field a touchdown to Allison, it was, for a fleeting moment, it was Rodgers' 350th career touchdown pass. Knock him back down to 349 and give him his 28th rush touchdown and 2nd of the season.
Yeah, who cares about rushing touchdowns? He wanted that passing touchdown.
He wanted that other one.
Well, I tell you, though, talked in the open about his ability to use ground force accuracy, his release, where you can see he pushes off the ground. He can throw these throws that no one else can. And then you all of a sudden see staring down the barrel. You got to have a tight release. That ball's got to come out and finish. And then your accuracy, just to put it in a spot.
As exact as that.
I mean, really, he's just, and then we don't even talk about his ability just to still move and create. And
I want to get back to the point you made that the last time Derek Carr was on the field, They were about to go in, or had a great chance to go in.
To up 17-14,
Up 17-14. Now he's going to touch the football for the first time since that fumble through the end zone. Gave Green Bay the possession out at the 20. 21 unanswered points overall by Green Bay, but the point is it's 28-10. They've scored 2 touchdowns since the last time he had it.
And it took points off the board. And, you know, the thing is, Derek Carr's playing a good game, but this is, you know, I know I keep talking and harping on it, but Jim, when it's this many possessions and these teams are this good on offense, efficient-wise, it's just that ball on a play, and you don't even realize as a quarterback until afterward. You're like, you look back and you're like, I'm doing everything right. I mean, Carr's 12 for 15 for 167 yards, and now he's touching the ball, and it's 28-10. He was about to take the lead. Okay, I lost it. Now it's 28-10. What just happens? That's the NFL.
In a blur. First time in a long time is Jacobs up ahead for 8, and that gives Jacobs now 11 carries for 76 yards. They were doing exactly what they wanted to do. Like you said, shortening the game, long possessions, including an 8-minute and 40-second touchdown drive.
Yeah, running the ball, big plays. Now they got to pick up the tempo. You're down 18 points in the second half. It's guess what you can't do.
That's Jacobs looking for that little opening and finds it for the first. And another 3.
Yeah, you're going to just be a little bit more cognizant of the clock, so you just can't be exactly how you started. Now, for the first possession, I would argue you always just pretend like the score doesn't matter. Pretend like you're starting the game, come out and you score a touchdown. We'll see what happens as it keeps flowing. But you can already tell them getting on the ball already, these first 2, that they feel the importance of getting into this right now. And they just like come up and run the ball to the right.
Up ahead they go, straight ahead is Jacobs. First 3 plays for the Raiders in this half, all runs by the Alabama rookie, who was taken 24th overall, was the first running back selected, and that first-round pick they used to take him was one of the first-round picks that came in the Khalil Mack trade with Chicago.
Well, they're building it here. I can tell you, regardless of how this season goes, what John Gruden's doing, you know, it's been really good. Obviously, the Mack thing, that'll play itself out as the years go on, but what him and Mack are building, I mean, you can see it.
2nd and 7. Carr's got an open target, and that's Waller again. Out of bounds with another first down on the Green Bay side of the 50. Gain of 18.
Well, Waller's 83. You're going to see get in a formation, get a running back on the left, go right, running back on the right, go left. But really, it's the blocking. I mean, look at Sharp's obviously in a situation where Gabe Jackson comes over to help. Got beat a couple times early. The protection plan that John Gruden does each week, I watch. It's really fun to watch. It's subtle. Not everyone gets to see it, but right here, he sees what the front is, sees the coverage. You go up and you get to a play you like, you go run it.
Carr's completed his last 12 passes, make it 13 to Waller, who now is up to 94 yards receiving on the day.
You know, this is the one scary part. If you're John, you know, if you're the Green Bay
Houston
Packer fan,
trailing by 5 now. Yeah, that's Kiki QT getting the pitch from Deshaun Watson. 4-yard run. Indianapolis 21. Dallas. Houston 16. Back to Jim, Tony, and Tracy.
You see guys get open a little bit once in a while because they're depending on guys to cover a lot of people.
It's Jacobs. He weaves around the outside. Martinez is waiting for him. Tackled down at the 25. Jacobs first came to the Raiders. He was so respectful of his quarterback, Derek Carr. He always addressed him as sir. And Derek said back to him, hey, man, I'm not that old. Just in my 6th year. But he's a great kid. We met with him yesterday, and what a wonderful pick.
He is, and he loves football. And I know I could tell right away that you liked him. You're like, he respects the game. He wants to get better. He wants to learn.
Yes.
And, you know, he
cares about the history and those who played before him.
And he called you Sir Nance.
No,
it was wonderful.
Not necessary. Didn't do that. Here's a 2nd and 5. Tough pass and well defended. As they were going to Carrier, that was Amos that was in on the pass play, deflecting it.
It's a good job. Amos coming flying over to get his hand in there because that ball's in a spot that really it's only Carrier or no one by Carr. But he doesn't know that Amos comes all the way across the field. Big play here.
That finishes Carr's completion streak at 13.
Are you going for this, Jim, if you don't get a first down?
Well, if field goals get it back to a 2-score game, I would consider that.
You're getting pressure here. I think you're exactly right. I think, you know, it's one of those things you've got to get points in this possession.
3rd and 5. And the Raiders pick up the first down with Renfro.
How'd that ball get on his back hip? Let's see, you're seeing on the left, Renfro. Carr fits it in there right away. I think that's a catch. Let's see. Oh, good job by Alexander to get his hand in there, but
he pinned it against the hip, as you said.
I don't think it's worth a challenge. I think it's a catch.
You know, I think it was too. Renfro's going to be a slot receiver for the Raiders for a long time. Another one of those terrific picks out of that draft class, taken in the 5th round out of Clemson. Here's a first down handoff. And Jacobs with 3 this time. I always like it when you see a young player come along and you ask them about some of who their heroes were, and they can go back to generations that they were playing before they were even alive. You know, they've gone to the tape, they've read the stories, they've seen the clips. He cited Walter Payton, Barry Sanders, and others.
Oh, you want Marcus Allen, Bo Jackson for the Raiders. Yeah, this is a kid who loves football, and they're guys you root for. There's a bunch of them on this field today.
2nd and 7. Carr has Carrier, who holds on even with that tackle by Redmond. And that's a pickup of 5. And now you might have a little argument for 4-down territory. He's got 3rd and 2 coming up.
You do, and right here you see Carrier just going underneath. And it's a good fit at the end by Redmond getting in there, but I'm in 4-down territory I mean, you have to get within 2 scores, but like you said, 4th and 2, you got a big offensive lineman.
Oakland's converted its last 5 3rd downs.
This is where it gets loud in here, and so if you're trying to change plays, tell everyone what to do, you may not get that off in time. You just got to snap it and go with the play you got, whether it's good or not.
Out of the gun, across the middle, back to the end zone, Waller with the touchdown. What a drive by the Raiders. 75 yards in 11 plays, 5.5 minutes.
Well, that was a great answer. But this is what happens. Watch right here. That's a fullback. That's your Dick Vitale PTPer right there. And I can tell you, once you split them out, you know what you got. No help in the middle. They're confused. And he sees that. And now you got Waller going right through the middle.
Waller goes over 100 yards with that touchdown catch. Extra point is delivered by Carlson.
And by the way, I was wrong. That was in gold. I wanted the PTP.
Yeah. He's a PTPer too.
Absolutely.
Just inked this week. He's overcome so much in his career. He's talked openly about it. A couple of suspensions, including the entire 2017 season. He comes here to Oakland. He's not only found a home, he's become a huge weapon for them. He had 37 catches through the first 5 games. That tied the Oakland mark through the first 5 in Raider history with Tim Brown. So he's just amazing. We've seen it today.
Yeah, now he's got, what?
Over 100.
Over 100 yards, 5 catches, and he's got 42 in here. This is their #1 threat. If you're going against this team, this is the guy you have to stop right now. Obviously, Jacobs in the run game, but that's the passing threat.
Is Shepard on the run back. And that's limited at the 15. He had 20 catches more than the next highest receiver on the team.
Wow.
We've got an update. Let's go to New York. JP and Phil, what's going on with Detroit and Minnesota?
Kirk Cousins still on fire.
You've got it. He's carrying over from last week. His 3rd touchdown pass of the day. This time it's 5 yards to C.J. Ham. Minnesota 28, Detroit 21. Good game down there in Detroit. Back to Jim, Tony, and Tracy.
All right, thank you, Phil. And there are the standings in this division. And all these teams have performed well, and the Lions at 2-2-1, feeling like they should have been 3-1-1.
Well, they would have been in first. I was just saying Detroit, right, would have been in first. We were talking on the side here. If they would have won against Green Bay, that's your 1st or 4th in that game.
That's a hands to the face, reminding him of that. Here's a pass over to Graham. What a move by Jimmy Graham. And he's out of bounds near the 40.
Boy,
Picks up 25.
They are attacking on every play call, aren't they? I mean, every single play is like, let's just keep pushing guys down the field, block them up. And you'll see Jimmy Graham late on the right side of your screen. Rodgers gets out and another throw that makes it look easy, but that's much further away from the quarterback than it looked right there.
It looked like the Jimmy Graham of old, the way he was running around some of those defenders.
He's had a good game today, too. 3 for 62.
Mercedes Lewis comes in and tight end for this snap. That's 7 pass plays over 20 yards for Rodgers in the game, who just went over 300 yards for the afternoon with that completion to Graham. It's a 1-yard effort by Jones. He's got the perfect quarterback rating. Now, if you can just tell me how that is calculated, I'll be a happy camper.
Leave that on there. Look at it. I think it goes right to there. That's where it goes to.
Perfect.
So that's a good rating, even if the mustache isn't as good of a rating.
You don't give that the perfect rating?
I like the beard when he's got it going a little bit. He likes the mustache. He likes the November month.
He's got that going now.
Yeah, no, it's good. He does a good job.
Second and 8. Quick throw. And it's too low for Jamal Williams.
And the perfect rating gone.
That's right. He played a lot of golf with Aaron Rodgers. I had a chance to visit with him this week about what it's like playing with you, and he was extolling how well you did recently out in Napa on the PGA Tour. He was watching you play, he said, and calculating the number of putts that you made.
Yeah, I said,
keeping an eye on you.
Said you don't have to calculate too long.
Oh, you made a ton that first day.
Yeah, we do all right. He's great. He loves golf, and so obviously, so we get out there and have fun. He's good.
3rd and 8. That's Kumaro with the catch in front of Conley.
Kumaro with a couple big-time plays, you know, in this game. And I'm more impressed with just how attacking this Green Bay team is going right now. I mean, this is year one. Just drop back and play action. You remember the old play actions to Jordy Nelson where they'd go and then he'd go this way, that way, and then across the field.
Greg Jennings, Donald Driver. I mean,
just down the field, and then they drop back and throw a comeback right there, a little out up, back to the side. I mean, you always wanted them to run the ball when you played against them. You just feel like they're going to get 30 yards every time they pass.
What it feels like right now. As Jamal Williams slips through a tackle. And he picks up another 8. Jamal Williams with a touchdown catch in that first half. That's his 4th grab of the game. He's only run the ball once after having a 100-yard rushing performance against the Lions Monday night.
Well, if your quarterback has a perfect rating, and that's with a touchdown getting called back because they stepped out of bounds, I think you'll find that it's okay to keep throwing. I mean, there's so much trust in Aaron Rodgers. If you're Matt LaFleur, what you're learning is, wow, I can call like 35 passes and all different ones, and I don't really turn the ball over very often. He doesn't have to pick perfect plays. You don't have to get this pick play up. You have to run this and help your quick. Just let him read it. He'll throw it back shoulder. He'll make everything work.
It's a 2nd and 2. Now they go to the ground and they pick up a first down with Aaron Jones. 10 carries for 43 yards.
And what you find is, you know, Nathaniel Hackett, LaFleur, when you're around all these other players, the NFL's hard. And when you get a guy like that, with Rodgers, you're always trying to be like, okay, here's how I'm going to help you on 3rd and 4. We're going to get this guy. He's going to pick him here, and you're going to do this. And you're always like, well, why don't you just let me look at the defense and get the guy open with a signal here or that. It's like, you know, I need you on 1st and 10 for these bomb plays that I can't tell everybody what to do. That's what we need you for. Run the ball. And that's what's happening. This team's only going to get tougher to beat as the season goes on and Adams gets better.
Here's a first down from the 29. Going to the end zone. And the ball is caught right in front of Worley. That's Lazard pulling it down. Worley shaken up on the contact. The collision after 26.
I mean, no one makes this throw. It's a little bit of an inverted 2, we call it, but I think he came down with that. Lazard gets it at the high point. What a catch if he comes down. He does.
Does for sure. Got an injury timeout with Worley. Worley is going into the tent, Trayvon Mullen will replace him, but the Packers have 1st and goal to go at the 4. Rodgers with 3 touchdown passes. He's run for a score as well. It's his best game of the season by far.
Well, yeah, it's because the coaches are trusting him. It's literally now they're like, oh, we can just keep doing all this and he's that good. You don't have to always be perfect. We keep saying it. And you'll see right here, like, they're allowing him to get up on 1st and goal with nobody in the backfield.
Takes the handoff to Jones. Dancing around at the 13. Throws it at the goal line. It is caught. Jimmy Graham with the touchdown. There's number 350.
What trust must the staff have just to keep doing that? And obviously, Aaron Rodgers has proven over his career, they just needed to learn it. And I think you're seeing now, when they get healthy with everybody, that he can just keep doing this still like he's always done. 350, incredible.
9th all time. Jimmy Graham having his best game of the season as well. That's his 4th catch, including that touchdown. 65 yards, and Crosby with another point.
And Aaron's getting really familiar with this system. He's starting to understand conceptually, like, oh, okay, this is kind of similar. This is different. I like this. And the more times he sees it, Well, watch. Here's Jimmy Graham. This is the difference a little bit in this system to others. Instead of just lining him up right here and running across, we're going to put him outside. So now if this is a guy in zone, he stays there. If it's man, you can tell as the quarterback. Now he knows it, so he goes, okay, I can tell already it's a zone coverage. Let me just look off inside. Someone's got to match him eventually. Nope. Aaron patiently waits. And Harris just can't keep following him all the way across the field. Pass rush hasn't gotten to Aaron enough today. If he has time, he's going to take advantage.
Yeah, they sacked him just 1 time, Max Crosby, in the 1st half. They've had 6 possessions, 5 of them resulting in touchdowns. 5 touchdown drives. And look at the balance. Look at the distribution. 8 different targets.
Wow.
With catches. They've had 6 players with at least a 20-yard grab or more. Didn't take long that last drive.
I can't remember. Have they ran it once in the last 25 plays?
I mean, they had one running play with Aaron Jones for 4 yards on that last drive.
This reminds me of Brady, or when they would go in and be like, okay, this team's #1 against the run or something. They'd throw it 52 times. It's just like you trust your quarterback when he's at this level. And some of these throws are just really, really high level. And then some of the plays the guys are making. Lazard going up and catching the 1.
180, set.
Raiders go with Jacobs. He slips past the first hit, picks up 4. Dove right around Amos. And Jacobs now with 91 on the ground, 15 attempts.
Yeah, and the way Oakland's going to get back is still keep doing. I mean, you're scoring all the time. I mean, each possession, it feels like Oakland's doing it just more efficiently. Green Bay's a little more explosive, I guess you could say, even though Oakland's numbers look really great too. But you got to just hope Green Bay is going to give you the ball. At some point, you got to say you got to get a fumble, you got to get a turnover, you got to get more aggressive on defense.
2nd and 6. He gets it back to Waller. That's enough for another first. Waller with 1 touchdown catch. The other touchdown by the Raiders by another tight end, the rookie Foster Moreau. Carr's misfired only 4 times today, but finds himself down 18.
See right here? He's John Gruden at the line of scrimmage, basically. I see this defense. We have multiple plays from all these formations. That's not easy to do to get everyone on the same page, but they do it really well.
That's Jacobs. He's got a 100-yard game on this run, and he's taken off. Holds it with 2 hands smartly all the way to the Green Bay 36. So he's got back-to-back 100-yard performances.
Well, just look at cut back, cut back, back, and then the great just wisdom, you almost call it, at the end, to hold with 2 hands high, to feel that guy behind you.
I saw some Barry Sanders in that move.
There was a little bit there, and that was impressive.
27 yards picked up. He had a 42-yard run on the opening drive of the game. Now with 17 for 122. Final seconds of the third quarter. No gain this time. The Raiders' touchdown in this quarter was the first time they scored a touchdown in the third all year.
And Green Bay finally, they adjust after Oakland. Oakland adjusts. Green Bay switches their coverage. And they get them.
You're watching the NFL on CBS. We're heading to the fourth. Back for the fourth quarter. Both teams have scored in every quarter. Jim Nantz, Tony Romo, Tracy Wolfson, Jim Rickoff, Ryan Galvin, our producers, Mike Arnold, our director. Let's settle in here for the last 15. See what the Raiders can do. They're driving again at the Green Bay 36. Carr. Good pass under pressure, and they've got another first down. That's out of the backfield. DeAndre Washington, with his 8th catch of the season, goes for 12.
Well, the pressure's in Carr's face. You'll see a little stunt up and under. Smith does, and Carr does an excellent job of sliding and then throwing back inside.
Good day for the quarterbacks. Between the two of them, only 9 incompletions and 6 touchdown passes. 4 for Rodgers, 2 for Carr. Handoff Washington. Give him 3. What we've seen so far, that pivotal moment in the final minute of the first half, when Derek Carr tried to reach for the pylon, the ball came out of his hand through the back of the end zone, side of the end zone, past the pylon. That goes as a touchback back to Green Bay. They went down the field and scored on a throw from Rodgers to Kumaro. It was a 14-point swing. That's been the difference in the game.
Yeah, and I think since then, I mean, I'm looking, I think Green Bay's had 21 out of 23 pass calls. One of those is a Rodgers touchdown scramble, but I'm calling that a pass. 21 out of 23, that's because you have the lead and you're staying aggressive. Most people are like, you're going to run it. Not Green Bay.
That's Morrow, who caught a touchdown in the first half. He's a big-sized target. We're in that Dave Casper 87 of yesteryear. Gain of 14.
Well, and let's even pretend, and this is the, I call this the old Rodgers play anyway, where you throw the tight end in the flat. When they get all these guys inside, you throw it to the side, and then you stiff arm someone right at the end and say, I'm bigger than you. I'm going to jump on you. Morrow does a good job. They got some really good tight ends here.
Yes, they do. They are loaded carriers. The third one. Waller, Moreau, both with touchdowns. First and goal. Jacobs stumbled at the start, only picks up a yard, maybe 2.
If Carr scores on that, let's give them 24 even. Let's pretend everything else is the exact same. 24, 35, and you score here. I mean, the game is completely different. 31-35. You're just one stop away from going to win the game. Feels completely different. And you really haven't done anything else differently in the game as Carr. You played a perfect game almost every other area.
Second and goal.
Small room for error when you go against these Rodgers, Brady, Manning guys, though.
From the gun, Carr got time, goes out of the backfield with it. Jacobs is about 2 yards shy. He's become a little bit more active, Jacobs, in the passing game in the last few games. Well, and he's some savvy, according to John Gruden.
Yeah, you see how he stays, like, he doesn't just run to the sideline. It's like softly kind of getting out, eyes around the quarterback. It's like, hey, don't go run to get covered. Just because the routes draws go over here, it's like at some point there's a timing where you have to have that savviness you talk about. It's like, you know, give me that right here softly so I can just give it to you open. Big play.
Third and goal.
You can't run this. This has to be a play action, right? Not from
they
there.
Run it down to the 1, and the Packers just bottled up the middle of that line, and now it's 4th and goal. If you kick a field goal, it's 11:40 to go.
No.
I'm not saying, I'm just doing the math here. It would make it a 2-score game at 15-point difference, but you can't stop the Packers. That's the problem.
You have to go for it. You're exactly right. Can't stop them. If you're running that ball from 2 yards out and goal line, you're telling me you're going for it.
Yeah, 4-down territory.
But now you've given yourself the ability to do either one. But you've got to throw this here, don't you?
Well, they're all in tight again. Waller on that right side. They run it, and they dive over the top, and somersaults short of the goal line is Jacobs. The Packers make the stop. A little Marcus Allen-like move, but
he goes up. Does he get in, or did Green Bay with a big stop, it looks like? Wow.
Sports and NFL apps.
On 4th and goal, the Raiders tried to do a little Marcus Allen-like flying through the air. The feet would cross. Of course, that doesn't matter. But the ball, as he was whirly-bird around, that makes it look even a little closer, but it's still not cross.
Nope, didn't cross. I tell you, that was saying we're going to pound it at your goal line twice from the, not the one, from like the 2.5, 3.
That's Jamal Williams giving him 3 yards of room. Saturday, the SEC on CBS, home to another huge matchup. Second-ranked LSU will take on number 9 Auburn. Big game. All begins with college football today at 3 Eastern right here on CBS. Next weekend, LSU Auburn. On Joe Burrow, the season he's having, the quarterback of LSU, already setting the single-season touchdown pass mark in LSU history. Here's the last 24-play breakdown for Green Bay. Ran it on first down. Get it out to the 4. They go again. With Williams, he's tripped up near the 6 or 7. Joseph looked like had he been able to slip through that one, it could have gone a long way. Gain of 2.
Well, if you're Oakland, there's any chance. This is obviously a monster 3rd down because you can get field position, still get back in it. I mean, still obviously need a lot to go your way. Green Bay, though, they're just a machine right now when they put the ball in Rodgers' hand because he's getting protected, and then they're getting healthier on the outside, and you're seeing just the combination of coach, player, everyone knowing each other. You find out what each guy does good. You find out what people like. They're coming after him here, though. He's going to have to get this one quickly.
Whistle first.
Into a timeout.
Timeout Green Bay. You've been talking a lot about this system and throughout the game talking about why it's worked so well for Rodgers this afternoon. How about a little credit too to the offensive coordinator Nathaniel Hackett, who we knew back in his days at Jacksonville as the coordinator, and before that he was at Buffalo. And well, Matt LaFleur brings him here to be his coordinator. Those two had spent a lot of time together through the years at the combine, etc. And at one time Hackett tried to hire LaFleur at Buffalo as his quarterback coach, but Matt took the job instead as an assistant at Notre Dame.
And you know, when you look at that, it just happens in coaching all the time. It's like we always picture like Parcells and all these guys. It's like you exchange, this guy goes here, you go there, and you end up working together again, and it just changes. But these two together, they get together each week. Aaron, they come up with great stuff as a staff, and you're seeing the combination now of being like, wow, we can do a whole bunch with this team.
See what they come up with on 3rd and 5. Here comes the blitz. Oh, they hit Rodgers as he got rid of it just in time. He is knocked down.
Oh, what a big-time play by Rodgers, though. To be able to find someone and not have grounding on that. A guy comes free right up the middle.
Nicholas Morrow.
Well, and this right here is a problem because that's actually the running back's guy. Williams doesn't get there. And Aaron's pissed, as he should be, because he should have time. But this is, I mean, for him to get to find someone, I mean, those are inexcusable, though, from a coach and Rodgers. And the running back, you got to block that. And if you're Gruden, you got to challenge this. I mean, that's your best bet is to get a safety here and get within 2 scores and get the ball back. Maybe they're saying it would be a throwaway where it would be.
They're challenging that maybe it was should have been a grounding call,
correct,
which would be a safety because the pass came from the end zone.
Correct. Now, I think
there is no challenge by Oakland on the play. 4th down.
You can't challenge that. That's basically why. That's the only reason he basically threw it to say, I'm challenging intentional grounding, which means we don't allow that rule here. But if you want to challenge pass interference on that play,
yeah, right.
You can. Very upset there.
I could just hear it as an old quarterback when your running back doesn't protect you.
Oh, man. I mean, you heard me get angry a little bit.
I
was upset for him. I'm like,
hear it.
That's how you get hurt sometimes. And
you were angry.
I was.
This is Davis on the run back. Again, former Packer with a flag at the very end of this.
You know, I'm telling you, that was Rodgers' best play of the game right there, Jim.
He's had a lot. That would be number 1.
It's the stuff people don't see. It's like you just never remember it, but it's like that's the game-changing play that gets them a chance to be back in the game if you take a sack there, which you almost should because your guy busted.
During the return, holding, receiving team number 26. 10-yard penalty. Oakland keeps the ball. First down. Timeout.
Rodgers accounting for 5 touchdowns today for
in your community.
John Gruden, who used to be an assistant back in the early years of his career, 92 through 94 for Mike Holmgren here in Green Bay.
He's upset because he thought it was intentional grounding. LaFleur's upset because he's like, well, you can't throw a flag and you can't challenge. That should be a penalty.
Right. As Washington runs it for 7. Yeah, Gruden was an assistant here. Andy Reid was on the staff. Those were the halcyon days when, you know, you rode your bike to work. He actually got one time ran into a car trying to bike his way to the practice facility.
When he was at Green Bay.
Yeah, right here.
Yeah, that's right. In the hospital.
2nd and 3. That pass deflected right after it left the hand. Gruden's oldest child, son Deuce, who is one of the trainers or one of the fitness strength coaches for the Raiders, was born here in Green Bay. But wonderful memories because he was here at the time when they traded for Favre. When they made the trade for him, Ron Wolf made the trade with Atlanta to bring Favre here. They dispatched Gruden to the airport to pick him up. So all of us were saying, who is this guy?
Only traded a first-round pick for him.
And we found out later exactly who he is. One of the greatest ever. 3rd and 3.
No question.
Parr down the field. What a catch. That's Aitman with the catch. His first catch of the season goes for 36.
I was going to say, I haven't seen him on tape a ton. Aitman goes against King up top and watch him high point the ball, and this is a perfect throw. I mean, that's inches from being intercepted, and you need time to get the ball down the field, and the Raiders have given Carr a little sign of life, huh, if you're a Raider fan.
They've moved the ball all day long. Punted only once. In the middle, and there's the interception. End zone pick. Kevin King, who was raised in the East Bay area, went to Bishop O'Dowd High School, comes up with the end zone interception. 3 red zone stops by the Packers as Carr was trying to find Waller.
Or people rely on.
The Packers defense comes up with the interception, and they had a little celebration that involved, well, it looked like the entire defense and maybe half the roster.
Yeah, they did a little train, a little come on, Rod. Go ahead and tell me what that is. There's got to be something. I mean, what is that? There's an Instagram, or is there something out there that I don't see in this world? That's
the left throw. And what a tackle that is, tripping up Aaron Jones. Worley, who was checked out earlier in the tent, comes in and makes the tackle. And let's go down to Tracy.
Jim, they call themselves the D train. That's what this defense calls themselves. They've been practicing that after games in the locker room, but they've never done it in public. First time they've been able to do that celebration, the D train.
With a world premiere, the debut.
How did Tracy get that? So nice job, Trace. That was really fast.
Good scoop. 2nd and 11 as we're halfway through the final quarter. Up the middle for a gain of about 6 is Jones. So it's interesting for the Packers. They go on and win this thing, which it appears to be going their way for sure. They'd be 6-1, but 5 of their first 7 games at home. They'll go out and play 4 of the next 5 away from here, including next week at Kansas City. The story on the other side for the Raiders, never seen anything like it. We were there for their last home game on September 15th against Kansas City, and they will not see the stadium in Oakland again until November the 2nd.
That's a tough draw. That's why if they get out of here 4-3 somehow, they're fine.
And they're at Houston next week, which is again going to be another tough assignment.
100%.
Here's a 3rd and 5 for a first down. That is Valdez-Scantling racing down the sideline. There's no bad ankle
evident on that one. "74 yards. Which will just add to Rodgers' monster totals. It'll put him over 400 yards passing, 5 touchdown throws.
Watch this. It's cover 0 over here, which means he's coming down to take that. But watch down here on the bottom of the screen. Rodgers signals real quick and out. When that safety comes down, there's no help over the top. And when that happens, if one guy misses a tackle, it's a touchdown. Now, you have to do that if you're the Raiders at this point in the game. But Conley, way too much space. He saw Rodgers give a little signal, and Rodgers, if he didn't have a perfect rating before, Jim, I'm calling it. I think it's a perfect rating now. Wow.
Look at the extra point, but did you see the block after Scantling made the catch? He turned around and he had one of the greatest blocks down the field you ever see.
He comes around the corner.
Here goes right coming up.
And right there on Carl Joseph.
I think it's Aaron Jones.
It looks like it.
It is Aaron Jones on Carl Joseph.
Well, Joseph, that's his guy. It's cover 0. That means the ball is coming out. It's like you can't. He's not looking at anything else. He doesn't want to give up a touchdown to his guy. And that's the problem, though, is Aaron Rodgers knows where the weaknesses are. When he saw that safety come down to cover the tight end, he went right to that play, and there's a Lambeau leap.
Lambeau leap that all started back in 1993 in a Packers game against the Raiders. Leroy Butler.
Are you setting something up? I've seen this game
you're
before.
Sensing a roll in, a little tape roll in.
The way your voice of your tone, it just felt like there was something coming after that.
I would never call for it.
If someone had something,
Calvin and Rickoff would be all over that. Davis. In traffic out across the 30. Oh.
Let's move on and go to the deep.
Oh,
wait a second.
Yeah, look at this. Reggie White back to Leroy Butler, and that's when it all started. 1993, the day after Christmas. Against the Raiders. And as I mentioned earlier, even Mason Crosby got into the action with a Lambeau leap on Monday night. We got a quarterback change. Mike Glennon comes in for Carr.
Now, this is where you're going to get out of here. You don't want any injuries if you're the Raiders. Obviously, neither team does, but you know this game's over. Carr really with an outstanding game. It's not going to look like it because the fumble in the end zone and then the last interception and his last throw, but you know, really gave them an opportunity to win here. It's just that Aaron Rodgers in the scheme, everything was perfect today for Green Bay.
It was Carr's best passing total of the season, just 7 yards shy of 300. There's another run for 2 by Washington. All right, it's update time. I'm going to hand it off to number 11. Phil, take it away.
All right, thank you, Jim. Hey, the Houston Texans trying to make a comeback against the Colts. Who else? Deshaun Watson finds DeAndre Hopkins in the back of the end zone. That's 9 catches for 106 yards, 1 touchdown for Hopkins. Indianapolis 28, Houston 23. Back to you, Jim.
Okay, that one's so vital. Thank you, Phil. And what's happening in the AFC South. Here's the toss. Richard, 3 Packers on him for a loss on the play. Hey, coming into the week, there were 28 quarterbacks who have had at least one 300-yard game. But that's not what they've asked Carr to do this season. He was not one of them. 259 had been his highest total before today. 293 yards on the afternoon. Only 6 incompletions. And the last one being the interception. Cole to punt for just the 2nd time. His first punt was a 59-yarder. Here's another good one. Shepard with the catch, fair catch at the 13. We've got doubleheader Sundays coming up the next 2 weeks, Tony. Next week early, then we'll see Denver against Indianapolis. We'll be in New England. Cleveland taking on the Patriots. Some will see Oakland against Houston in that late window. It all starts at noon Eastern with the NFL today. Doubleheader day next Sunday on CBS.
I'm ready for the doubleheader. Here's your fantasy leaders, Jim. Who do you have this week?
Who do we have, I think is what you mean, right?
Yeah, we are
our teammates.
I'm your teammate as long as we're winning.
I will tell you, our quarterback is not on that list.
That's not good for us.
Okay.
All right, I'll go down with you, too, in the Flames. We got Jacobs, Cook, Edmonds, Fournette. You traded 2 of those guys, didn't you?
Tim Boyle now at a quarterback, so both backups come into the game. Boyle, second-year quarterback out of Eastern Kentucky, takes over for Rodgers, and what a day it was for A-Rod. 25 of 31, 429. And we get the top receiving totals by yardage. Valdez-Scantling, who was questionable coming in, 2 catches, 1 a 74-yarder. How about that? A 59 and a 74-yarder. He doesn't believe in the underneath throw for 5 or 10 yards.
Is that efficient?
Not into the nickel and dime stuff.
No, that's what you want. You want one guy who's just like, nope, I'm not doing it. Only touchdowns. Only big plays.
Boyle, handoff. Whitehead meets the ball carrier after a gain of just a couple.
You know, I sit and I watch this, and we're watching Green Bay, and I'm like, I keep thinking their offense is just going to get better and better every week. I mean, obviously today is a perfect game, but opponents are going to change, schemes are going to change, it can get tougher in different areas. But I do worry a little bit about Green Bay. You know, that defense had a lot of open people today, some miscommunication, and a couple of times just the one-on-one routes. There's a guy, if there's a great receiver. If you go against a great receiver and the quarterback has time, Jim, you know, they can do to Green Bay what Green Bay's doing to other people a little bit. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting how this plays out, but they're really good, obviously.
Raiders make the stop on Dexter Williams. Take him off the field. State Farm postgame show is coming up after this one. JB and all the crew will give you all the recaps of the 1 o'clock games. You know, we built up matchups on our first on the field. One of the things we talked about was how do you contain the Smiths on that defense for Green Bay. We haven't really called Zadarius Smith, Preston Smith all that often today.
No, and I mean the penalty early on hurt Oakland a little bit. I feel like in one of the possessions, Smith got you know, sharp to hold him on the edge, but they still scored on that drive, I believe. And I think this Oakland offensive line is really good. You know, that's the only time you're going to see the Smiths. You know, they're the reason why these guys are able to cover sometimes on the back end quickly.
There's Davis.
Look at Davis getting past the wave.
And Davis continues to show some really great flashes. He's inside the 40. Packers, by the way, without a sack today.
Whoa, did they just update this?
They did.
This is awfully early, Jim.
You're not feeling it yet?
This is
a little early.
Usually our guys don't go to the last 10 seconds, so this is early for them. But I think this one's over. I think they're right.
We look at Green Bay, though, at 6-1, including a division win against the other 3.
Well, that's to come out to the start you had. You talked earlier about them playing at home. They had to get off to a good start, but it's tough sometimes, as you saw with all the new coaches across the league. Not very many are off to great starts.
There's Glennon going in the area of Carrier. We got one play more before the 2-minute warning. Raiders were out today to try to get to 4-2. Would have matched with a 4th win the win total of last year, but they go heavy in the draft with those 3 first-rounders. Pick up some other free agents along the way, like Tyrell Williams, who they do miss. He's caught a touchdown in every game he's played in when he's been healthy.
It'll help him when he comes back.
Yep, no question. And 12 rookies on this roster. He's going to drop back to 3-3. Trying to beat a team with a winning record for the 3rd straight game. That hadn't happened for that franchise since 01. Nice little tiptoe move by one of those rookies out of UC Davis, Keelan Doss. Aaron Rodgers, 429 yards, 5 touchdown passes. He runs for another, stuffing the stat sheet.
Did you see that far?
Talk to an agent today at 800-STATE-FAR. And by KFC. Come enjoy our new KFC wings. It's finger-licking good.
Everybody's jumping at Lambeau Field. Aaron Rodgers has done something that's only happened. Well, Tracy's not. She's University of Wisconsin band performing here at halftime and throughout the game. Tracy, a Michigan alum, not happy still about that football game between those two a few weeks back. By the way, we're just receiving word that what Aaron Rodgers has done today, 400 yards passing, 5 touchdown passes, and a rush touchdown in a game, it's only happened on 2 other occasions. Norm Van Brocklin, 1951, and Mark Rippon in 91. 400, 5 and 1, and the Raiders find the end zone with Waller for the 2nd time today. So Glennon able to come in and put together a little drive here in the last 2 minutes.
Well, Waller up top, 1-on-1, and this is, like I said, a little bit of the concern. Jackson right there, just a little too much space. Some of these guys give up in some of this man coverage, and you see people catching some balls on him. Waller, great game today. Not going to be enough to overcome it.
Big time. Waller had all those catches coming in, 37, but he did not have a touchdown catch before today. He's got 2 in this game. Extra point from Carlson with 1:32 to go.
Well, you know, besides that last play with Green Bay, who obviously they're going to be a little softer on this point in the game, but the red zone defense, a couple of big-time plays to change the momentum of the game in the first half. You see right there early, and then this big stop at the 1. Goodson gets in on the hit, and then the interception to close it out, basically. The tip by Amos, and the catch there by King, and that's 21 points right there. I mean, 3 different plays, 3 possible scores.
First time with 3 scoreless red zone drives delivered by the Green Bay defense since a game against the Giants in 2004, 15 years back. King with a red zone interception right there.
And that's a big part of this defense, though. I mean, Mike Betton's done a great job coming in. He's got 2 guys on the edge, and you know, what he does on the red zone defense, you know, his 3rd down defense, they do a great job. Just once in a while, you'll see a big play here and there, but they're relying on guys to play man quite a bit. And
a little pooch kick here, Tony. Fielded at the 14, and Shepard will slide down at the 22.
I will say, though, Pettin does a great job with a lot of his fronts, stunts, stuff that you don't see every week, and getting people to get hits on quarterbacks. So great start to the year for Green Bay.
No question. 6-1. We'll have all the recaps of all the early games coming up on the State Farm post-game show. The Packers, the Raiders. This is the 8th time they've met since back in 1990. The Packers having won the last 8 matchups since 90. And now a couple of kneel downs, and we can call it a day.
Oh, I tell you.
How about a rookie head coach being 6-1?
That's really impressive. I mean, I forget who his quarterback is. I can't remember.
No, that's
yeah, that's right. There he is.
Remember,
if you're coming in as a rookie coach, you know who you want. I'll take Brady and Rodgers. You guys go build your systems over there.
How foolish does it look now? All, again, got to have content. All the discussion you had to field in interviews this week. Is everything okay between LaFleur and Rodgers? What's going on there?
They're fine. Now, these 2 right here, I'm not sure. They look like they could be having an issue. Listen, I got you. But yes, Aaron and LaFleur, they're going to be fine.
We're going to have some bonus coverage coming up, by the way. That Houston-Indianapolis game, so vital. See which team will have the lead in the AFC South. Bonus coverage coming up as soon as we get to 0 on this one. It's going to be the best start ever for a first-year coach in Green Bay history. I'd mentioned that before. Is the 15th ever to have the title of head coach of this franchise. It goes back to 1919 when they were the Acme Packers. And not a one of those rookie coaches ever made the playoffs his first year. They're 6-1. So for Tony, Tracy, and Gene Steratore, this is Jim Nance saying so long from Green Bay. It's time for bonus coverage. Let's go to James Brown in New York.
All right, Jim, we take you to the matchup. AFC South showdown. Houston trailing by 7 to the Indianapolis Colts at the 2-minute warning. And we will get you out to the announcers at that game, Greg Gumbel, Trent Green, and Melanie Collins.